All right, good morning, everybody. It is Monday.
Good morning.
Sorry we haven't been around for a few days.
We have been under the weather.
Yeah,
And
got the ick
kinda,
here in this house.
yeah, kind of
So,
still are a little bit, but
Yeah.
not as bad.
Yeah, so it's hard to talk when it's all full of phlegm and everything else. So
Stop coughing.
yeah, but we're back. Here we are again. We're still in that book there. And today, Jesus raises Lazarus from the dead. John chapter 11, starting at verse 38. Jesus was still angry as he arrived at the tomb, a cave with a stone rolled across his entrance. Roll the stone aside, Jesus told them. But Martha, the dead man's sister, protested, Lord, he has been dead for 4 days. The smell will be terrible. Jesus responded, didn't I tell you that you would see God's glory if you believe? So they rolled the stone aside, and Jesus looked up to heaven and said, Father, thank you for hearing me. You always hear me. But I said it out loud for the sake of all these people standing here, so that they will believe you sent me. Then Jesus shouted, Lazarus, come out. And the dead man came out, his hands and his feet bound in grave's clothes, his face wrapped in a headcloth. Jesus told him, unwrap him and let him go. And now the commentary. Tombs at this time were usually caves carved in limestone rock of a hillside. A tomb was often large enough for people to walk inside. Several bodies would be placed in a tomb. After burial, a large stone was rolled across the entrance to the tomb. Jesus was angry when he approached the tomb of Lazarus. Why was Jesus angry? See also John 11:33. There were two main possibilities. One, Jesus was angry that Mary and others at the tomb were weeping and wailing excessively, like those who have no hope as a future resurrection. So see that in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 13. In contrast to Martha's response of faith in John 11:20-27. Or two, Jesus was angry about the power of sin and death in the world. The fact that Jesus wept himself, John 11:35, and was still angry when he arrived at the tomb is a good indication that the second explanation is correct. Jesus was angry about the devastating effects of sin and death in this world, and he felt the loss keenly at the tomb of his friend Lazarus. This wasn't the way God designed life to be, but we can find hope in the fact that Christ has overcome death, John chapter 11:25-26, and live in the light of that. Jesus spoke to a dead man, and not only did that dead man hear his voice, he responded. That reminds us that Jesus is the Word, John chapter 1, verse 1-18, who was present and active in creation when everything was called forth by the simple words of God, Genesis chapter 1, verses 3-31, and John chapter 1, verses 3 and 4. Jesus raised others from the dead, including Jairus' daughter, Matthew 9, verses 18-26, Mark chapter 5, 42 and 43, Luke chapter 8, 40-56, and a widow's son, Luke chapter 7, verse 11-15. So,
Raises everyone from the dead.
Yeah.
There's record of some in the Bible from when he was on earth the first time.
Mm-hmm.
But then we have the faith and hope that we will be raised as well, and all of our believing loved ones. And that's where people get a sticky button. They don't want to think it's just those who believe. They want to think it's everybody, and it's not.
Yeah.
And that's a sad way to go. But that's why it's important for us to tell everyone.
Yeah. And they had the benefit of watching this firsthand.
Right.
And and they still doubted. And I get it. I mean, we're not perfect in any mean, but it's still an incredible thought to watch somebody just shout like that, but after knowing somebody's been in that ground for 4 days.
Yeah.
So, and they still doubt. So thank God we got to thank God that Jesus gave us His Holy Spirit to
Right.
help us with that. Because obviously, by ourselves, we cannot do it alone.
Absolutely not.
No.
And you're making a good point. They saw it firsthand and still doubted. Don't kick yourself when you're down if you're doubting.
Yeah.
The best advice I think that I've ever received is to pray for God to increase your desire to desire Him more.
Yeah.
And He will help you through the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
There's always something magnificent happening all around, but sometimes we get so busy and so distracted that we don't recognize it.
Yeah. Well, He promises, ask and you will receive, which is in reference to, I've heard commentary to salvation, which is true, but it also, you ask God to sincerely know more about Him. He will make it known to you.
Absolutely.
That is part of His will. He wishes that we would know Him better. So
Right.
you're praying in His will when you ask Him to reveal Himself more to you.
Right.
And that will happen.
Yeah.
All right. Hope everybody has a glorious day and be healthy.
Yes.
And we will talk to you later.